Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for the information session, first I'm going to talk a little bit about the value of getting an MBA. It is an investment, so I want to go over some of the things that you should expect to get when you select and start your MBA program. I also want to talk a little bit about the resources that we have available for all of our MBA programs. And then I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to talk about the 4 different MBA programs, and I'm going to talk about who we really target them towards, so it's really clear which one would be the best for you. And then I'm going to ask you some questions about what are you really looking for when you think about an MBA program, so we can be sure that when you leave this, when you're done with this session, that you have a clear idea of what you want to do. And then Lindsay's going to step in and she's going to talk about the application process. And then in the end, we're going to have a Q&A to go over the things that we didn't touch on or that we may not have been as clear if we could. So having said that, let's go and talk about the value of an MBA. Okay, so an MBA is an investment for everybody. So when you think about it, you need to think about what are the kinds of things that you're going to get out of this when you spend the money and time to get your MBA. And some of the things that I have written here are important. There's also other things, but I want to just touch on these first few, which is basically you start out by joining a network. It's a network of MBAs that are alums from our program. We have about I think it's about 6,000 alums, the MBA alums, and then also you also get connected with MBAs from other programs. And so it's important that you realize that this is a network that is going to help you in your career as you move forward. It also helps you jumpstart your career. Some people get started once they get out of their undergraduate program, and they're having problems really getting their career going, and an MBA can help you with that. It also helps you if you want to change industries. If you want to go from being in the supply chain for consumer products and then go into the entertainment industry and work for one of the studios, it can help you do things like that. And also, which is something that we all look for, is when we get an MBA, we want to get a promotion and a raise in pay, because that also helps us pay off that investment that we make in our MBA program. And then finally, an MBA brings this prestige because it differentiates you from others that are in your industry. All right. So the next one is the little bit about the resources. We have lots of different resources that we offer to all of our programs, and these are some examples of the things that we have. First, when you look at your career center, we have our own career staff that work in the College of Business for the graduate programs. They focus and are specialized on helping graduate students in business and be able to make whatever move or change that they want to make in their career. So for example, if you're looking to start your career, we can help you write your resume, put you through mock interviews, get internships for you. If you're in another position where you already have a job, you're already in your career, you're maybe in management, and you want to shift into another industry, or you want to move up the career ladder, our career business staff are there to help you with all that. We also have a graduate mentor program. This program is designed to match up graduate students with our alumni, and also sometimes we also bring in other people in industry that are not alums, but they are in a particular industry that we think is a good match for some of our students. And what we do is you get matched up, and then you develop a relationship with this mentor. And this mentor can help you in terms of maybe the particular industry that this person is in, or just to sit down and talk to you and help you understand how you navigate getting a job or moving into another company, or looking for ways to expand your network, and they can help you do that. So our graduate mentorship program is something that we're very proud of. We also have lots of workshops. We do workshops. Networking workshops are really important. We also do workshops on how you do mock interviews. We do workshops. We've done Toastmasters in the past. So we do lots of different workshops that help you really expand your skills as you prepare to go out and get a job, or as you work your way up. We have several advisory boards, and you're always welcome to apply to join an advisory board. We also do orientations. Every program has its own orientation. We teach you the case study method, team building, soft skills. We put you through a career workshop to help you prepare for what you're going to need to do to be ready to graduate. So we have all of these things that we start out and introduce you to in the orientation. And the reasoning behind this is to make sure that the first day you start your class, you're really ready to hit the ground running. You know what you need to do in the MBA classroom, and you're prepared to interact with the faculty as well as your fellow students. We also have the Graduate Business Student Association that we encourage all of our graduate students to join, because that's another opportunity to network. And it's also a way to get access, to continue to get more access to our alumni network. So those are some of our resources, and we do have more, but I just wanted to highlight some of the ones that we have. And so we offer 4 MBA programs. We have the Saturday program, we have the Accelerated MBA program, the evening program, and our latest program, our newest, is the Online MBA program, and we have just started with the 2nd year and the 2nd cohort of that program. So now I'm going to go through each of these programs and give you some background and some explanation of how they're different from each other's. Okay, so one of the things that we've realized over the last few years has been this idea of there's a big need for all MBAs to go through training to understand how to use new technology. And it's all positioned around the idea that we have a lot of data. When you think about in business, all the data that we accumulate, that we generate, we have to be able to work through that and figure out how can we tell a story around it. And so one of the biggest needs that we found for MBAs is that they have to know how to work with data. And so we talk about data science. And I want to give you just a little bit of a background on this. We talked with the chief technology officer at Epson when we talked about the way we were integrating disruptive technology into our curriculum. And this is some of the quotes that we got from him. He said, basically, data is the new currency in business. So how do you exploit the data available to your organization so that you can bring together your customers, your competitors, and you bring them all together so that you create a competitive advantage for yourself. And then as an MBA, you need to develop your competitive advantage in the marketplace. You have to be able to solve business problems by creating new business models, by improving the products and services that the company that you work with has. You need to be able to basically compete, and technology is a way that you can do it. So having said that, it's really important that when we train you as an MBA, we want to make sure that you not only have the skills to excel in industry now or in the next year, but also in 5 or 10 years down the road. And what's really become very important is how we use data and how we integrate technology into everything that we do. So let's talk a little bit about the Saturday program. Our next program, or the first program I want to highlight, is our Saturday program. It is a hybrid program. It's set up to be 50% in class and 50% and 50% online. It's set up on 10-week terms. Our other programs, some of our other programs are either 8 weeks or 16 weeks, but this is 10 weeks. All of our MBA programs require 48 units, and you go through the program as a cohort, and it's a lockstep program. So all the courses that you take are the same courses. You go through the courses together in 23 months, and you take 2 courses every Saturday, so that you don't come, you can go to work during the week, and then on Saturdays you focus on your classes. And as I said, this is designed for working professionals. We have 2 types of residentials that we do. As I said earlier, we have an orientation. It's a 2-day orientation. And then we also have an international study trip that you take at the end of the program. Some of the things to keep in mind is the program is set up as what we call a concierge program, which basically means your tuition includes everything. You pay 1 tuition, and it includes all the textbooks. When you're on campus, it covers your parking, all instructional materials, the international study trip, and your meals on Saturdays. We feed you breakfast and lunch so that you can make it through a whole day with us. The international trip basically covers everything from the time that you arrive in whatever country we're going to and the entire time we're there. The only thing that you are financially responsible for prior to that is the round trip ticket from LA to whatever city in the world we're going to. So for the Saturday program, the theme is disruptive technology and sustainability. So what we do is we look at innovation, technology, and sustainability all together. And as most of you probably know, living in California, it's important that you understand the regulatory system that we have here in terms of sustainability. So we want to bring technology, innovation, and the sustainability model all together. We start out with the basics in the program. We introduce you to disruptive technology. And then from there, we take you through all of your courses by adding in a little bit more technology along the way, so that in the end, you're going to end up knowing everything around blockchain, around cloud computing, around cryptocurrency, which is very important. You're going to learn about how to use Tableau and Excel. Those are important skills that we need, because we talked about earlier about the importance of data and knowing how to tell a story with your data. So you're going to have all of these skills around technology that's going to help you solve business problems. We have client consulting projects, and we also do case studies and simulations. And then the next part is we want to also add in a few what we call additional perks. As I said earlier, you can join the MBA advisory board through an application process that we do. If you're interested in starting your own business, we have a lot of students that come into our MBA program who have decided that they'd like to start their own business. And so we want to make sure that you have the skills and the training that you need to do that. We have resources there in the College of Business, such as our Incubator, which is an endowed incubator that provides all the support that you would need to start your own business. If you're interested in starting your own business and competing in an innovation challenge, we have prizes that go up to $50,000 in prize money and in-kind services. So it's a way that you can find a way to start your business and have some funding to launch it. The typical profile of the profile of a typical Saturday student is they're older. You can see here that the average age is 33. It's about 60% women. The average GPA is around 3.07. And for in terms of our top undergraduate majors, we have both communications, business, and engineering that are the top majors that come into this program. And what we also have is students coming in with a lot of different backgrounds. So for example, we have students that come in that may have an undergraduate degree in music or an undergraduate degree in chemistry. So all of those degrees you are accepted when you apply to the MBA program. You do not have to have a business degree. So next, I talked about our Saturday international trip. So here you can see this is an example of one of our cohorts that went to Berlin. We spent a week in Berlin and we focused on digital technology and sustainability practices. And those are just some pictures of some of the things, the companies we visited and some of the activities that we did. We paired up with a MBA program in Berlin and we met with their students and worked with their students. So you got to learn how businesses conduct or how different countries conduct business. And you can compare it to what we do here in the United States. And if you are interested in this program, Rihanna Williams is the program manager for the Saturday program. And her email address is there. It's rihanna.williams@CSULB. And next we have our full-time accelerated MBA program. And this program focuses on entrepreneurship and innovation. And what we have here is a program that is designed for people who are just starting their career. Most of the students have either just graduated from the undergraduate program and they come right into this program, or maybe they've been out there for 2 or 3 years, but they really have not started their careers. And so what we do is we have this program. It's a full-time program. It meets during the day, during the week. It's for 21 months, and you have 4 classes the first year in your fall and spring, and then in the following year you go down to 3 classes each semester. And you also have an orientation, just like we talked about earlier. And this program also has an international study trip with the same package where your tuition covers everything. We also, because the students that come into this program really don't have any career experience, we have organized and we offer to students a career guidance workshop. So our career staff set up a workshop which runs for 6 months, and it basically prepares you to, excuse me, it prepares you to know how you can apply for a job, go through the mock interviews, and get an idea of what kind of industry or job you would like to have. During the summer, between your first and second year, you do an internship, and this career workshop happens just before that, so it prepares you to apply for internships. If you want to start your own business, we provide all the resources that you need for that. And so we'll talk about that a little bit next. So you want to start your own business. How do you do that? So there's 2 things that we teach you in this program. One thing is we teach you how do you start your own business and provide you with the resources with that. But if you're someone who maybe down the road sometime you'll want to start your own business, but right now you want to get some experience in industry, we also provide you with the skills and introduce you to the skills that you need to work in companies where they do have startups or they do have a division that creates new products. And so if you look at the very bottom of the screen, you can see that starting your own business is considered entrepreneurship. But if you want to work in a company in the area where you want to innovate, so starting new products, creating new products or services, that's called an intrapreneurship because it happens within a company. So when you graduate from this program, you have 2 routes that you can go. You can either start your own company or you can go and work for a company that does this kind of innovation. So the hands-on experience that you get working with an entrepreneurial ventures is very important for this. You will learn and you will experience working with entrepreneurial ventures. When we go overseas, you go and work with companies and get to know companies that are startups in different parts of the world. You will also work on projects that have different, are startups that you can learn from what they do. As I said earlier, we do have the Apostle Incubator and the Sunstone Innovation Challenge, and those are 2 resources that are open to everybody, and you get to use them too. If you want to start your own company, here's all the resources that you need to do it. And then, let's see, we have the typical profile. And so you can see here, when we looked at the previous one, the profile was the Saturday students, the average age was 33, and you can see here that the average age is 24 here. It's about 50 to 60, between 50 and 60% women, and there's about, let's see, the GPA is about 3.2. The two top undergraduate majors are business and engineering. We also have our largest group of international students are in this program. So it's about 26% international students this year. Usually it goes between about 25 and 40% depending on the year. And the next slide we have the international trip that the AMBA students do. And this was when we went to Colombia. We went to Colombia, and the students learned and visited some startups in these countries, in this country. They learned about how people in Colombia, as well as other Latin American countries, innovate in different areas. They also got involved in, we do a community service project with some organization. In this particular organization, I think if you look in the slides, you can see in the middle, there's lots of little kids there. And so what we did is we went and visited an after-school program in Bogota, Colombia, and spent time with the students, talking to them, playing with them, showing them. We did some art classes. Played soccer with them. So we had fun. So it was a community service, and basically it's our opportunity to give back to a country. So next, let's see. So then the person that is the program manager for this program is Giselle Oberly, and you can see her email there, giselle.oberly@csulb.edu. So you can contact her to learn more about this program. And next we have what we call our flexible MBA. This is completely different from the first two programs that I've talked about, because this program, you design it yourself. It's self-paced. The first two programs are pretty much, you go through as a cohort, you go take the same classes together, you go together at the same pace. In this program, basically, it's self-paced, so you can decide how many classes you want to take each semester. It's designed for working professionals. Usually we're looking for anywhere from 3 to 5 years of experience. It does have an orientation, a 2-day orientation. We do make sure that we have soft skills integrated in the curriculum, which basically means when you leave this program, you know how to make a presentation, you know how to write, you've got a good ability to communicate, which is really important. And when we talk about things like making presentations, we're talking about, for example, some of the data science aspects. When you have lots of data that you collect for some sort of project and you have to be able to tell a story around it, we help you learn how to do that. So you don't just put up a spreadsheet, like an Excel spreadsheet, and show the numbers, but you can actually use some way to tell a story and create pictures that are easier for other people to understand. And this program is, because it's flexible, you have a choice. You can either get a general MBA or you can select from one of our 9 concentrations. And at the bottom, we've listed all those concentrations. And basically you take 3 or 4 courses in one of those concentrations. So let's say you're looking at finance, you can take 3 or 4 finance courses, electives, and then you get a concentration in finance. In the general MBA, you could pick and choose 4 different electives and you would end up with a general MBA. So like I said, this program is really a program that you get to design for your needs. And again, the evening program, like all our other programs, gets these additional, what we call perks. You get, opportunity to join an MBA advisory board, to start your own business, to compete in the innovation challenge. All those resources are open to all of our MBA students. And the profile. These students are also older. You can see the average age is 29. It's about 50% women. It has a small number of international students. We have about 8 this year we have about 8% international students. It runs anywhere from about 5 to 8%. Sometimes we get as high as maybe 15%. But we don't have a large population of international students in this program. And again, the top undergraduate majors are business and engineering. And I do want to stress again that we have students that come in with all sorts of undergraduate majors. And then we have, let's see, okay, our last MBA program. Like I said, this is our newest. This is our online MBA program. It's designed for working professionals. We have two options. You can either go full-time or you can go part-time. And if you want to go full-time, you end up taking 4 classes a semester. The semesters are divided into 2 8-week sessions. And you would take 2 classes in one 8-week session and then 2 classes in another 8-week session. If that's too much for you to do, you can choose the part-time option, which basically means in one 8-week session, you would take 1 class, and in the second one, you'd take 1 class. So you have this flexibility there to select what fits best with your lifestyle, with your job, with your family. The program is set up so that it's 50% synchronous and 50% asynchronous. And what that means is in an 8-week period, you have, you're going to meet eight sessions online in the virtual classroom. So you'll meet at either, I think it's 6 to 8:45 or 7 to 9:45, 1 day a week for each class. The other 50% of the course is done asynchronous, which means you don't meet with in the virtual classroom. You'll be working on projects, doing exercises, other things like that on your own, usually with other students, or you may meet with faculty at certain times, but it's basically not that in-class experience that the synchronous is. And when I say in-class, I mean the virtual in-class. You have a built-in network because as you go through the program, you're meeting all these students that you're going through the program with, and so you get to know them, and that's great. You've got your network. It does have an orientation. We do integrate soft skills in it. You also have access to every other resource that we provide for our face-to-face classes. You also have the same thing in the online. So for example, the Graduate Business Career Services, if you want to come and meet with our graduate career staff on campus, you can do that, but they also are available online. So you can set up Zoom meetings and you can go through the online learning with them. The other thing that we always want to encourage everybody is that we have graduation on campus in May, and we always want our online students to know that they are also part of our family, and we encourage them to we will encourage them to come to our graduation ceremony on campus. All right, a couple things to keep in mind about the online MBA program. The faculty that teach in our face-to-face, our regular face-to-face programs like the Saturday, the accelerated, and the evening. These faculty are the same that also teach in the online. So it's not like we have separate faculty teaching in the online from all our other programs. They tend to be the same. We have a balance of in our teaching professionals that include faculty as well as professional experts that we bring in from industry. We think that's an important balance that you need in the classroom. We use the latest technology through our academic technology service team, and then each class has a teaching assistant that works with the faculty and you to help support your learning and any questions. So if you have special questions or you need help with something that you're working on, there's a teaching assistant that can help you with that. And just like all our other programs, the perks include our advisory board, our Apostle Incubator, and our Innovation Challenge. So those are also available for you guys. Some of this can be online, some of it is face-to-face. So sometimes you will have to come to campus for some of this. For example, the Innovation Challenge, things like that. Okay, the typical online MBA student, you can see they're older. So we have 3 programs that focus on the working professionals: the Saturday, the online, and the evening. So you can see their ages. 29 to 33 is the average age. It's about 50% women. The GPA is about 3.1, and no, it's very similar to our other 2 programs. The undergraduate majors tend to be communications, business, and engineering. And as I said before, we get students from all sorts of different backgrounds. So it isn't just those 3. Those are just our most common. All right, so I just want to give you an example. I have 2 slides here. One is a sample schedule for the full-time program. And you can see when you look at the first year in fall semester, you have two 8-week sessions. So in the first session, you may take Accounting 500 and Finance 501. And then the second session, you'd be taking our statistics course and our marketing course. And that's the way you go through the program. In the summer, we have 2 courses that you take. They are 8-week courses too. So you would take a Finance 600 and a Management 647. So basically, if you look at here, you're getting through the program in I guess a little bit, what is it? I guess it's 2 years. You end up through 2 full years, you end up with your online MBA degree. And then for the part-time, you can see it's spread out. So it takes a little bit longer. You have 1 class per session. So in the first session, it could be Accounting 500, the second, your statistics course, and so on as you go through. And in the last summer of your program, you don't have any classes there. And then you end your final set. So your final class is your capstone course. And that's the only class you have in the spring session. So Lindsay, who was here with us tonight, she's the program manager for both the evening and the online program. So she can answer all your questions and guide you through the process of selecting and applying for these programs. So a couple things left that I want to talk about. One is we've gone through all this, and so I want you to think about which is the program that's best for you. And so I put some questions out here. And as Lindsay said, you're going to get the copy of these slides along with it's being videotaped, so you can go back and look at these. So some of the things you should think about: if it's really important that you have a lot of flexibility in how you get your MBA, then the evening program is probably the best program for you. If you want to have a built-in network through a cohort, and a cohort basically means the people that you come into the program with, you go through the entire program with them. Our cohort programs tend to be our Saturday program, our online MBA program, and our accelerated MBA program. If it's really important for you to have a concentration, you're going to want to think about strongly consider the evening program, unless that concentration is, for example, entrepreneurship and innovation. So it would be the accelerated program. If it's disruptive technology and sustainability, it would be the Saturday program. But if it's other things like finance, marketing, healthcare management, that's where you're going to focus on the evening program. Things like, are you looking for a general MBA? Do you want a concierge program or a do-it-yourself program? In other words, do you want a program when you pay your tuition that everything is provided for you? So you pay your tuition for the Saturday or the accelerated program, you show up to class the first day, and somebody brings you your books, you get a parking pass, you get your meals. Anything that you need is all there. It's provided for you. You don't have to go to the bookstore and buy your books. You don't have to go to the parking office and buy your parking permit. It's all provided for you. If, on the other hand, you're more comfortable doing this all yourself, then the evening program is where you want to go, or the online MBA program. Those 2 programs, everything is, the only thing you're paying for in your tuition is your tuition and fees. Everything else is extra. How important is it for a global immersion for your career? So in the 2 programs that I've talked about, the Saturday and the accelerated MBA, those 2 programs have a global study abroad program that you do. It is a week long, You go, usually we go for the accelerated program, we go in January, and for the Saturday program, we go in June. And those are, like I said, are included in the tuition for the program. And then the last thing I want to just show you quickly, and you can refer to it when you get the slides, is our MBA comparison chart. So this is a way for you guys to get a clear picture of the differences across all 4 programs. You can see we show you the cost, the tuition and fees, and for the evening and online, those are links that you can click on and they'll take you right to your tuition and fees. The number of units, the length of the programs, and then the international trip. There are international trips that you can take in in the evening and online. They are not a part of the program per se. They're not included in it, but we do have some trips that our undergraduate students go on, and we allow, let's see, MBA students to go on it too. It costs extra. It's not included in your tuition, so you would have to pay for it, but we do have those options. And then I think now it's time to turn it over to Lindsay, right? Lindsay? All right, so.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself and turn it over to Lindsay.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Martin. All right, for this next little bit of our presentation, I'm going to review the application process, and then we will open it up for Q&A. So now that you have a better idea about which program might be a best fit for you, or maybe you've narrowed it down a little bit more, the application process is the same across all 4 of the MBA programs. So regardless of which one you're applying to, the same criteria applies to all of them. So in order to be eligible to apply, an applicant would need a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited university. We are very pleased to announce that there's been a decision made to waive the GMAT or GRE admissions exam for all 2021 applicants. So if you are interested in applying for fall 2021, this admissions requirement has been waived. And this has to do with the ongoing pandemic. We want to be very aware of what is going on for folks, regardless if you're in the States or elsewhere, if you're applying as an international student as well. Some of the testing centers have been closed, and the test can be a bit of a financial burden for some, and just due to the pandemic, we are waiving it. Right, the application also requires a resume, video statement of purpose, short answer response, and 2 letters of recommendation. I will go into a little bit more detail about each of these application components. And this process is done completely online via the Cal State Apply application. All of our programs have a fall admission cycle, which will open on October 1st. So we are hosting this session just a little bit before the actual application will become available, October 1st. The deadline for fall 2021 for these programs is April 1st for our international applicants and June 1st for our domestic applicants. We do have 1 program with a spring admission cycle. So in addition to fall, the evening MBA program also has a spring admission cycle. And the deadline for our international applicants is October 1st, and for our domestic applicants is November 1st. Once you finish the application, you pay a $70 application fee and then submit transcripts. So let's get into a little bit more detail about each of the components of the Cal State Apply application. Again, once the application opens, you'll be able to select the term you're applying for. So again, if you go there now, you won't see the online, accelerated, or the Saturday program. You'll see those starting October 1st. And you'll select graduate level. You'll then select the program that you're interested in, and it will take you to this page, which we refer to as the dashboard. There are 4 different quadrants of the application that need to be completed. And as you can see here, the dashboard will let you know kind of at what stage you're at in each quadrant and when you have finished it. So quadrant 1 is personal information. And this is exactly what it sounds like, your personal information. So your contact information, it will ask you for some other identifying information, and this will all be how the university contacts you regarding any admissions related decisions. Quadrant 2 is academic history. This section is quite brief. You will not be uploading transcripts here, but you will be entering in the colleges that you have attended and your GPAs from those institutions. Quadrant 3 is supporting information, and there's actually very little information that applicants put here. And that is because we have quadrant 4, which is all of the program information specific to the MBA programs are uploaded here. So quadrant 4 takes you to a page that looks like this. And you can see underneath our kind of banner image that there are different tabs. So the Documents tab, Recommendations tab, and the Questions tab is where you will upload all of the supplemental application materials specific to the MBA program. So under the Recommendations tab, you as the applicant will enter the name and emails of 2 recommenders. Your recommenders will then automatically receive an email stating that you have entered their name and email to be a recommender, and will include instructions for how your recommender should then complete and upload their letter on your behalf. So we do recommend submitting your application early and entering the names and emails of your recommenders so that they can also submit the submit your letters of recommendation in time for the application deadline. So the letters of recommendation have the same deadline as the entire application. A letter of recommendation should be on the person that you've asked, their letterhead or like company letterhead, and it should include a summary of their history with you, a statement of the characteristics that they believe you have that will enable you to excel in the graduate program. It could include some contributions you've made either to the organization or to the classroom setting if you're a recent graduate. And then of course, some form of a statement for your candidacy for consideration for admission to the program. Under the Questions tab, there will be an entry box where you will include a link to a video statement of purpose. So we do not have an interview as part of the process. Instead, we ask that you create a video and then upload the link in your application. The video should be no longer than 5 minutes, and you can use any platform service that you like. YouTube certainly tends to be the most popular one because it is free to have an account and upload a video. But we've also seen applicants use like Vimeo and other video platform services. In that no more than 5-minute video, you will address this prompt. So through your resume and recommendations, we have a good idea about your professional path. We want to hear you talk about your career goals in the near future and what you imagine would be your long-term dream career. The Questions tab will also ask for a short answer written statement. This is essentially one paragraph. It has a maximum entry of 1,500 characters. And you are describing a time when you dealt with someone who you had a difficult time with. So the prompt asks you to address how you handled that situation and what you would do differently if you could do it over again. Okay. Some frequently asked questions that we do receive before we open it up for Q&A from all of you participating tonight. One of the most common questions we get is how much work experience is required for each of the programs. And as we mentioned already, this Saturday program has a required minimum 3 years of work experience, and the evening and online program has a preferred 3 years minimum work experience. Most students in these programs tend to have more years of work experience than that. Our AMBA, the Accelerated MBA program, is available for those with no or minimal work experience. We get asked a lot, what's the current student experience like? And we would love to have current students here at every single info session, but we do host quite a lot of these, and they have class as well. So we pre-record a student panel webinar every single semester, and they each feature different students. And so you can watch our most recent MBA student panel webinar on YouTube, and that links to our office YouTube channel. And then, of course, for more information and additional FAQs, you can go to our website. All right, we would love to get questions from all of you. So in the next 15 minutes or so, we open it up for questions. If you have questions that come up after this session, feel free to contact us. Our university is open. However, office staff are working remotely. So during this time, email is the best way to get in touch with us. And all three of us are full-time staff members in the office, and we are checking that email every day, Monday through Friday. So that's a really great way to contact us and get your questions answered. So feel free to interact with us in whichever way works best for you, whether that's in the chat box or unmuting yourself. And thank you so much.
Hello.